Yo, what's good, Pack Nation? Welcome to Packin with Gary. Hey, look, tonight, we just doing a little hangout. It's been a lot of little clips from our practices, and we've had an opportunity how some of the assistant coaches operate. There's been some preseason stuff that's come out, about where they think NC State will be. I want to talk to y'all and see what you think. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all just a little sec to get on in here, and then we'll get things going. Will say the last post that I saw from our team, not gonna lie, I was like, okay, I like the energy. I already went out there and let everybody know, kind of hype about how the assistants are involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that this is probably I think I read that the highest paid staff that we've had, assistants wise for basketball. And I'm hoping that pays off, right? You got a first year coach, and it looks like he knows, what his limitations are. And he went and got some people that seem to be pretty good teachers of the game, right? They can get across their message and what they want the players to do. Um, every clip I'm seeing, probably on purpose, is about, some type of defensive techniques that we haven't seen at NC State in a long time, you know. So hopefully we see that pay out early, right? Um, we're hearing a lot of hype about Ed Mead and seeing some highlights, and it's looking like he's going to be a problem. So I'm hoping that continues. Um, seeing Paul doing a few things, which is cool, but I'm really looking for that next step from Paul, as most of you are. So hopefully that mess comes soon. Like, I don't want to start the season and just see him sitting around there shooting threes. Uh, but yeah, so ESPN is out here putting us as a bubble team. Got us as like the last four buys. So we've talked about this, right? We discussed that there's an opportunity for us to be, right there or miss the tourney, depending on how people develop and if they play at the level they need to for this particular conference. Because other than Paul, everybody else is going to be new to this thing. Um, I think that they're underestimating us, which is good, right? We know we don't want the hype. The hype is not good for us. So let's go ahead on, rock with the underdog role, and have a chip on our shoulder throughout the whole season. I'm with it. But a bubble team with an expanded field is wild. Okay. And the disrespect from ESPN just continues. And I hope this is the year where we're like, look, stop it. You're not going to keep doing us like this. We're better than what you think. But we know, as state fans, we can fall on our face and just be what the expectation is. I'm hoping that does not happen. I mean, to be a 10 seed first, well, let's see. They've got us as last four buys, so not quite, like it's not Dayton like it has been, but it's still right there. And I've already called for like a single digit seed, right? Even if it's nine, like we should not be in that bubble conversation. unless some things played out where Paul really didn't get much better in a off season, which from what I'm seeing, I don't think that's the case. I mean, he's been winning awards at camps and seems to be active. So I don't think that's gonna be the case. Or one of our bigs is just a complete bust, and everybody's hiking up, should I say, hyping up this Jurkovic dude, which to be clear, I am not bought in. Okay. It's one of the few players on our team where I'm like, I could have did without that one. And that's, I wish I could see what everyone else is seeing. I know he can shoot the three, so it's cool to have a stretch four like that. But y'all, we got so many shooters. So I'm like, another shooter that's a four. I'm not really pressed about that. Like, I'd much rather have Hall and Evans on the court at the same time, which that'll be just fine. But whatever. If Jurkovic can come in and be a starter, then that moves the needle even further for me. Like, I'm not even counting on him being that dude to be able to help us like that. If he does, there's no way we're sitting at a 10 seed. Like, that's absolutely just crazy talk. The thing that we'll be sitting at a 10 seed, considering what our potential lineups might be. I mean, we're looking at a team that has almost two of everything, right? A Noah's Ark. Like, we may not have three of everything, but two, we're pretty close. I mean, I think we're good right there. So I don't like the 10. Like, I hope that's something they put up in the locker room. Like, understand, nobody believes in you being competing for a championship or at a high level. Like, you're gonna be okay to squeak into the field. It's got to be upsetting. Coaches, I need y'all to use that. Jack Simpson says we'll be interested to see how the 1, 2, 3 fall out position wise. Jack, I have said this. I don't think it's that big of a mystery. Like, it probably, I mean, putting Paul at the 3 is just crazy work, yo. I really don't want to see that happen. And it sounds like the 1 is already locked up. Okay. Point is locked up. And the only thing we're talking about now is if we're going to put Paul at the 2 or the 3. That's it. Now, if we were at a point where we were talking about EY, Yalaho playing the 4, now we hearing rumblings of Jurkovic is going to be a starting 4. Then why we just can't move EY to the 3 and still play Jurkovic if he's that guy, have a bigger lineup, and then have Paul at the 2. Like, it's crazy. I'm not saying that Paul can't play the 3 sometimes, but for a starting lineup or a lineup that stays on the floor the majority of the game, he doesn't need to be at the 3. I really hope they don't do that, because if so, we are going to be on the bubble. I mean, it just is what it is. I've seen enough to be like, it's not a good idea. Jonathan Gatlin says, I agree, Jack. I think every spot but 1 and Paul is up for grabs. Okay. What y'all think? Y'all think the center spot is up for grabs? Eddie Thomas says, those preseason polls are usually a joke. I wish they would go back in the end of the season to prove how bad their picks are. Right? They say it's way too early, but it's good stuff to talk about. It gives us something to do before basketball season really gets going. So Jack Simpson says best preseason poll are Ken Palm numbers, the most accurate in this era. He has us as a better team than last year. Oh, that's good. I have to go check out Ken Palm. I haven't looked at our numbers on there. Jonathan says, I need more game film from practice, but Mikey is going to beat some people for a spot. Said it early. I agree. Look, whenever Gainey he started talking about Mikey and his tone switched up, his energy lifted a little bit. I was like, uh-oh, he's seen something. And I think he's going, either it's already there or he's going to get it out of him. And this guy is not going to be just somebody getting spot minutes. Mikey's going to be a problem this year. And I've already called for him to start. So I like this comment, Jonathan. Like, you are locked in. We're locked in most of the time, but you're definitely locked in with this one. Yeah, if you're a person that's starting at the 4, that's where I would like him at. And he's over there on the bench. You got to be looking over your shoulder, like, I better not mess up. Here come Mikey. Jonathan says Torvik has us at a great spot too. I think we're 36. Yeah, so it's like this right here proves my point. You got Torvik, you've got KenPom, all these analytical sites that are telling you, look, don't play NC State like that. Like they are better than the lack of names that they have. Right? We don't have the big name. We got Paul, that's about it, which is just a popular name. It's not really a big name yet. And so I get it. But when you look at the numbers, man, it's going to be a problem for some teams. So I don't get why ESPN keep doing this like this. It don't make sense. It's almost like somebody over there really don't like us or is graduated from Carolina and they're just riding their job. MKX said, let's make it interesting and play a game. Out of the new recruit, who will you start, bench, and cut? I'm not cutting anybody. Our team is our team. I'm not cutting anybody. I've already talked about my starting lineups. If you are somebody that pays attention to Packin with Gary, thank you, number one. But you already know. Ed Mead, I would start. Paul McNeil, I would start. I would either put Adams at the 3 or I'm starting EY at the 3. I'm starting Mikey. And if I don't start Mikey, I might just start Evans at the 4 and start Shaw Hall at the 5. But that's really my 2 little switch ups. If I don't start Mikey, yeah, I'm starting Mikey, yo. I'm starting Mikey and I'm playing Evans at the 5. That's my starting lineup. I just feel like Mikey's going to catch on really, really quick. It's not going to be something where we got to wait till conference play. He's going to be ready by then. Jack Simpson says, how do you think Gainey's in-game coaching will be? I guess it's purely speculation at this point. All speculation. But here's what I'll say. I'll tell you how I think it's going to go. We've seen the clips on social media of him yanking dudes to go do push-ups or whatever because they don't get rebounds, right? I think that is setting the tone for you mess up something fundamentally in the game, you're not boxing out, and it was supposed to be your board, you're out of position, you can come out. He's got 2 of everything. You're not handcuffed by this team, right? Like, even at the point guard, we know Embiid is supposed to be the guy. But let him not act right. He can go sit down too. Like, that's what I really like about our squad. Paul, you could do the same thing. We like you. But you go out there and turn to a prima donna and don't play any defense, you can get snatched too. Because we got a couple other dudes. Christian can come in there. Adams can come in there and shoot the 3 and do a little bit more so far. So, yeah, I think Gainey's going he's going to be a guy that makes an adjustment. If you are not doing what you need to do, you'll get pulled. And I do think, should I say, I'm hoping that if he sees one of our guys getting cooked that just can't handle their matchup, then he'll either move them or take them out. Because most coaches know If you got a mismatch, you attack it. If they try to hide them, you find them and attack it again. That's what we've been missing with some of our coaches. They don't do that. So we shall see. Jonathan Gatlin says, when it comes to Evans, per what I have been seeing from highlights, everyone is out rebounding him. I could be wrong, but I'm not sold. Oh man, Jonathan, you keep coming with the bars, man. You gonna have to like pump the brakes a little bit because you are on point again. I ain't want to say nothing, but it's not the rebounding for me. But I seen Mikey go with his chest, and for him to be, the leading shot blocker and everything, supposed to be our rim protector, I'm seeing no real rim protection. So I'm not saying I'm not sold, but I'm also like tempering my expectations of this guy at the ACC level, right? Like I don't know about him even like leading the conference in blocks. He might lead the conference in posters. He might be on the end of a couple of those, but I don't know. We're gonna see. Eddie Thomas says team looks to be working hard in the practice clips, and new coaches are bringing lots of good energy. Defense communication looked good. Yeah, Eddie, I agree. That's the big thing that we're catching here. The communication defensively is way, way more improved than last year. I don't know a lot, so we didn't see a lot about how the coaches operated on the last staff, and even in previous staffs, you didn't see a whole lot. But this particular group, I like. I mean, I like these assistant coaches. Like, we know about Gainey energy wise, but Goins and Collins, those are my two favorite right now. I'm not gonna lie. Those two assistant coaches, and it might be because they're younger. I don't know, but I like their energy. I feel like they're relatable. I think that's gonna be good for recruiting. And I think it's a lot easier for these kids to sort of understand what's going on when the coach is like in the mix on the court compared to just barking at them from the sideline or whatever. So hopefully that plays out well. And he also says the SEC sites are saying the players are not grandfathered in the 5 to play rule are winning court cases. What? If so, could be thousands added to the portal in all sports. I have not heard that. Those not grandfathered in are winning in court cases. That's interesting. If that comes into play, yeah, that's a whole nother story. I mean, we got 2 spots left. I don't know about any money, but we got 2 spots left. James Johnson. What up, Gary? What's up, James? Hope all's well. Been a minute. As soon as Justin gets some cohesiveness, we're going to put a belt to that butt. Believe that. I agree, man. I agree. Jonathan Gatlin says, my only thing is, who was the backup point? Hammond wasn't on the ball much at Santa Clara, and is Adams ready for that role? I would have loved to bring in a vet. So look, we got Comey, I believe is how you say his name. He could run the point a little bit. I mean, you got Witty if you want to, let him get his feet wet. I think we're good at the backup point. And like you said, I mean, we do have Adams. I think he's formidable. Like, we don't need him to come in and break anybody down necessarily, but he can bring the ball up court and start offense, I'm sure. Probably, set somebody up. But yeah, I think we're good there. There's another guy we have, this a point guard that I'm forgetting. Jakari or something like that. Jakari. I don't think he's gonna play much. I think that's the guy. maybe from like App State or somewhere. I forget where he's from. Yeah, he's probably not going to play much, but they were safe there. I have to let me look real quick. I'll tell you who I'm talking about that we're missing. Yeah, Comey. I think he can run the point some if needed. Jakari Brim is the guy I'm thinking about from App State. 6'2" guard. Yeah, probably not. You got Whitty, who can, we don't redshirt him. He can come in and do his thing. And then you got Hammond. So we should be decent there. John again says, hey, John, if that's the case, with thousands being added to the portal, what else do we need on this team? I think a better backup point, but I think we have everything else. Yeah, we do. I mean, at this point, you're just trying to upgrade positions that you have. James Johnson says, I'm looking for a top 5 finish in the ACC and a win in the ACC tournament with the Final Four run and potential natty for the Pack. We got some talent this year, Project Layton or not. Go Pack. Whoo, James, the hype is real. Hey, listen. So if none of that happens, just don't be upset. I'm being realistic. I'd much rather be surprised than disappointed with this particular squad. Top 5. Let's approach this part of it. The top 5. Now that's realistic. If we play, up and improve throughout the year, and we have some surprises on our team, Mead is absolutely phenomenal. First team All ACC. Paul is a first team All ACC, maybe second team. And then Evans is as advertised, and Shaw Hall is better than what we think. You let Mikey get most improved. I mean, we need a lot to happen for that top 5 because just think about it. That means ahead of us, we talking who? Duke, Louisville potentially, Miami. Who else? Virginia. So that's 4. So that means we beat out Carolina, Florida State, Clemson, Pitt. So top 5 that's tough. It's possible, but it's tough. And then we get to win the ACC tournament. Whoo, yeah, we need some luck with that. We just know getting through Duke is going to be a problem. I think Duke's the only team, and probably Virginia. Duke and Virginia right now seem to be the top 2 teams that are sort of separated from the field in the ACC. Probably easier to close the gap with Virginia than Duke, but we shall see. And the Final Four run, yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. And then that part I'm gonna leave alone. But I like your energy. W. Jones says Evans is kind of light in the britches. Who ain't heard that word in a while? Mikey or Shaw at the 5 with more beef and Evans at the 4 makes more sense to me. I agree. Appreciate you bringing that britches out. That's funny. Jonathan Gatlin says Evans can't shoot it from the perimeter to play the 4 though. Can he guard out there? Man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he could shoot a little bit to play the 4. I mean, if not, man, it'd be tough to come to a school you signed early. You were like one of the first guys to commit, and you like, yeah, I'm about to be the man. And then you end up coming off the bench. Oh, that's tough. I mean, it's good for us because we thought he was going to be the man. And you end up having some guys that are better or playing above their level. So that would be great. But yeah, he has to be able to do something on the perimeter. James says the hype is real, and I'm believing in Justin. He's going to get it done. This man's been to 3 straight Elite Eights. He knows what winning is. I'm feeling it and really believing in Justin. Hey, look, I hear you, James. I believe in him, but those Elite Eights were with a team where he was an assistant, not the head coach. And that team spends way more money on their basketball program than we do. So he had, better talent. Um, if you look at just last year's team, and he talks about wanting to be big, they were bigger than the one we have now. They played big. The dude we were going after, JP Australia, I believe he came off the bench. Like it's levels to this. Like I get he can get us there. I do believe he can get us there, but year one, that would be crazy impressive if he was able to, get us to a point where we were competing with the elite in year one with a team full of mid-major guys. Looks like I'm caught up on your comments here. So yeah, we've brought up uh Shaw Hall. To me, that is the guy, one of the guys, because there's a few that we need to be way better, but that is the guy that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. And I get it. I mean, my man, it's not he's coming JUCO. The JUCO numbers weren't crazy, right? He wasn't like the number one JUCO player or anything like that. But if we just think about Mo came from JUCO, and you don't need him to have like crazy numbers. He just needs to specialize in something. If we get this guy to be like, top of the conference in rebounds or blocking shots, just making a guard think twice about coming all the way to the rim, like make him just shoot floaters. That's gonna be a big deal. Like, I just have a feeling the muscles are not for show. And if it boils down to all this man does is touch people up when they come into the paint, I'm okay with that. Coach, let them touch them up. It should be when they go back to wherever they came from. People are like, man, we played state last night. I miss hurt. That's what I'm looking forward to, because we haven't had that type of team in I don't know how long. Jonathan Gatlin says, I think Evans is a backup in the ACC. And you play shot the 5 with Mikey at the 4. Yep. And Jurkovic can come in for Mikey. I don't know where EY plays in that scenario. Put EY at the 3. I agree with all of that. And you put EY at the 3. He is a bigger version of Williams. We know this. I think he might be a better version of Williams. Like, I don't know if he's got, all the offensive skill set, but he's taller and he moves his feet better on defense. And he can still shoot the 3. So as Williams sat there and, took some game, I ain't gonna say he took games off, but I mean, he wasn't being the star. EY could do that. Let me get in where I fit in, shoot a couple threes, boom, and get you more rebounds. Yeah, put him at the 3, man. And that way we keep Paul at the 2 where we want him. It's a perfect plan. I like what you're talking about there. W. Jones says, I'll be happy with top 9 in the conference and no play-in games. Ooh. Top 9. I will tell you, I'm higher than that. Like, I think if we're top 9 should be a given. That's what I feel. Just because of all we went through to keep Paul, right? We didn't keep Paul to be last or towards the bottom of the conference. He was supposed to be such a great freaking weapon. So much that we just told everybody else, no, you got to be better than 9th in the conference. That's just how I feel. Or fans going to probably be a little tight. Administration probably going to be a little tight. I know Gainey going to be tight because he's talking like that was a priority for him. So your priority man got to get you better than 9th in the ACC. No, anywhere between 5 and 8, I'm okay. We at 9. I know it's only one spot, but we're at 9, man. That means come ACC tournament. Not only we don't even get a bye at all. We missed the double bye and we don't get a bye. Like, nah, we don't want to do that. James says, continuation. My predictions come true. I'll be the first one to tell y'all the Pack was gonna do it. We're gonna beat Duke in the ACC championship game. Just gonna be a hot commodity in coaching. James, listen, when this happens, I want you to come on the show, okay? I want you to be on here. We want to see your face. We want you to have all the shine, all right? Because this would be a great thing if you predicted it. It'll be a phenomenal thing. And yeah, Gainey will be a hot commodity just going nowhere. We're going to have to pay him, I hope. As soon as that daggone buzzer goes off, he gets a contract extension. He ain't got to wait till the end of the season. You can extend him then. Extend him and triple his pay. You might have to quadruple it because he is way underpaid anyway. But we shall see. David says Evans at the 5, Jerkovich at the 4. Ooh, I don't like it, David. 3 EY, 2 McNeil, 1 and me. I just don't like Jerkovich. I know, David. I think you're a fan and you think he's gonna be really good. But as you know, I'm not sold just yet. Jonathan Gallon says, injuries aside, I think our talent and defensive floor with Gainey as the coach, we end up no lower than 7th. Okay. I can see that. David says, Hall, Adams, Hammond on the bench. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Gallon says, my thing is EY on the defense, and his defense might be worse. No chance. It will not be worse. It's not going to be worse. I'm telling you that it's not going to be worse. I don't even have any more to elaborate on about that. It will not be worse than Darren Williams. David Johnson says, like size and physicality of Jerkovich. So, David, look. The statement here sounds great, right? I like his size, but to me, I haven't seen. I'm gonna look again, and if you have some video or something like that, you can send a link to Packin McGarry at Gmail, and I'll look at it. But I have yet to see a highlight of this guy where he's being physical. And I mean, I've seen highlights in practice where he ain't really doing much. Like he's trying to go through people and they're not moving. Like I don't see it. So whatever you have seen, send it to me so that I can get on board with everybody else, I guess. Because I'm not there yet. And I don't see how I'm gonna get there until he gets in a game and drops 40 on somebody or whatever people think he's gonna do. Yeah. David says, what do you think of King? I mean, I think King's gonna be what we think he's gonna be. He's gonna come in to give somebody rest and bust his butt, which is cool. Like, come in, get some rebounds. He'll probably have a game where he scores like 10 points or something like that because people were leaving him open because he can shoot a little bit. So you just can't completely disrespect him. But I don't think his role is going to be anything crazy where we're like, oh, man, did you see what King did last night? But I could be wrong. W. Jones says it was either the Locked On or Pack Pride or Insider guys said they had seen some EY practice and they were surprised by his defense and physicality. Listen, I've seen the clips of EY, and this is last year, his season last year. His defense is better than Darian Williams. Like, it's not close. Not only does he move his feet better, he's not reaching, he's not fouling, and he's bigger. He's substantially bigger than this dude. To me, it is an upgrade. Not from the Darian Williams we thought we were getting, but an upgrade from the one that we actually got. Okay? Not the Texas Tech one that everybody thought was about to be super. I'm talking about the actual numbers old buddy was putting up. And defensively, what he gave us, he's not going to be a mismatch in the paint. Like, you're not posting him up, and he can go on the perimeter and guard if he has to. That's why I'm in favor of him being at the 3. Like, he will hold his own. James Johnson says, we're loaded with quality depth, unlike last year's team. It's going to pay dividends. Watch and see. So, look, James, I agree. But when I look at last year's team, I'm like, were we not deep? I feel like Coach chose not to play certain people. He chose a short rotation for no reason. And once you do that, then you start to take kids' confidence, right? Like, the confidence is shot. They probably start to get an attitude. They busting their butt in practice for what? Right? Like, it doesn't. If the coach is like, look, okay, you got me in practice doing all this stuff. I'm cooking whoever in practice. I'm hustling. I'm doing yada yada. And game day coming, I don't get in the game. You're gonna start feeling some type of way, and it's gonna play out. So I'm not confident that we were just that lack of depth last year. Like, I don't know about that. David said, "Can't start and we in trouble." We're not even gonna talk about that. There's no way this dude is starting. Like, if he starts, yeah, that's a whoo. Man, maybe if we starts, we probably had an injury somewhere because that's crazy work. I don't even know where he would start at. Jonathan Gallon wanted to confirm. We talking about EY at the 3. The 4 is where physicality shows more. The 3 is on the perimeter. Yeah, I want him. I want him in the game. He can play the 3 or the 4 for me. David says we are loaded, but it's with some projects. They all have to prove themselves, coaches included. This is a good point, yo. We have a team. This might be one of the first times where we have unproven coaches, or should I say unproven staff, because a head coach, it's his first job. And then 12 of your 13 players have never played in the ACC or even at the ACC level, at a P4 level. So it's wild. Like, we got a lot. We have no idea what we're gonna get, but we're gonna find out early because we got some non-conference games that's gonna let us know. Like, hey, the pack is gonna be a problem, or the pack can pack it up. We're gonna find that out real quick. So let me ask y'all this. We know our coach is defensive minded, right? But he went and got a bunch of shooters. So do you think we're gonna have a team that is um like a up and down team. I mean, I've seen the little clips, and he's talking about, as we continue to run, you need to make sure you don't lose your defensive principles and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, it's real hard to do to be a run and gun type team and lock up defensively. Some's got to give. Like, how many are we sending to the boards? Or do we feel confident enough that our bigs are just going, eat up rebounds? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, how, how are we going to approach that part of it? Because when you're shooting threes, there's a lot of long rebounds. It's going to be interesting. Jack Simpson says, any recruiting intel? I have none. I have none. I mean, I have my wish list of North Carolina guys that I want to get. And we've been out watching these guys at AAU tournaments, but no intel on, who's leaning towards us or anything like that. None of the top guys have cut their list just yet. So I don't think it's much to tell right now. Eddie says, I hope we schedule a really strong preseason scrimmage so we can get a true test of what we have. Yeah, me too. I mean, if you're not willing to do the scrimmage against a really tough team, then do one of those closed off practice scrimmages that nobody's allowed to and play the toughest team you can. And if you get smacked, you get smacked. Whatever, at least you'll know. I would like that. Really, when it comes to this whole schedule thing, I wish that we would have some major elite team on our schedule, non-conference. Go ahead and start the home and home with powerhouses. Go there and get smacked up if you have to. But next year, you'll have that person coming back to Raleigh. Like, that's what I want. Like, if you can get UConn, Arizona, I mean, any of the Michigan, if you can get a home and home set up with any of these daggone schools, man, that would be so big for us. And we need to start getting some of those. David Johnson says Gainey thinks he can fix the defense, so we have to trust he can get the job done. Yeah, I think he can. Based off of how practice is looking, we talked about it early on tonight. It's not. There's a lot of things that are being coached that we haven't seen. Right, the attention to detail on how to wall up, how to use your chest instead of your hands. Like, it's a lot happening that it's like either you come in with that knowledge as a player or you don't get it at state. And I think that is a huge positive for us, is that we're seeing early on these guys are being taught how to play defense. And if any of them are, gifted enough to be able to move laterally, then that's a plus. But at least the fundamentals will be there. And you can lean on that, knowing when you come to state, you can learn how to play defense. Now, I was just asked about recruiting by Jack. Jack, listen, Jordan Page at Broughton is a defensive-minded player. He can score, don't get me wrong, but the school he goes to is going to be a coach that's defensive-minded. That's in our favor. And if we can show we can lock up this year, I think that puts us in a really good position with that dude. James says, I'm not concerned with lower level players. As mentioned previously, our projects and we will be fine. Oh, previously up our projects will be fine. Trust in Justin and his staff. They'll grow and improve as the season goes on. David Johnson says we need Kentucky or Arizona as scrimmages. Absolutely. I'll take somebody like Florida. Like I say get a team that's just massive, right? Prepare yourself for what you're gonna see with Duke. And if somebody is really, really big, how you gonna handle it? Right. Don't just be picking random teams for just to be picking them. Christopher Burt says, just hoping we see better defensive fundamentals. God knows we can't be any worse than last year. I hope. Yeah, there's no way we're going to be worse than last year. We're going from a coach that says, "Look, I teach defense. We're going to lock up," to a coach that says, "The analytics tell me to let people shoot open threes." So you're not going to. I mean, there's not going to be. We're going to give up some threes. We're guarding everything. You hit a three, it was in our face. It's going to be way better defense than sitting there watching guys drop 30 on us. All these guards, right? Like we probably had like 8 guards have career highs on us last season because we just let them shoot practice shots. It's crazy. Bob Funk, welcome to the chat. I don't think EY can play defense against threes. He can. Go look at his highlights last year. He can guard on the perimeter if needed. Check him out. Say it's too slow. I don't. It depends on who the three is. If the three is like a Matt Abel, then he might be too slow. Just off the first step. But if it's a three like Paul Manil, which is why he don't need to be at the three, he'll be fine. Like I think you can stay in front of somebody like that. It's all about if it's a three that likes to get to the rim, it might be a problem, but we shall see. I have confidence based off what I've seen, Bob, that he'll be all right. James says, I want UConn, Kansas, Alabama. Yeah, I would love, I would love to have those teams come play us, or we just play them at all. Absolutely. I'm ready for us to start scheduling big games. But of course, teams they want to play the best. We got to make sure we're benefiting them. So hopefully that starts now. David Johnson says, hopefully they guarded three. Keith's teams guarded threes. Wilfredo, on the other hand, sucked. Yeah, terrible. Jonathan Gatlin says, what happens if we finish top three behind Duke and Virginia? Woo! Mm-mm-mm. Man, I mean, where do we start? Let's see. So first off, all the bandwagon fans come out, right? The ones that are not here right now will show up. Gainey should get a huge extension. He should be one of the top three highest paid coaches in the conference. That's just based off of where our money is compared to other schools. So we had just as much money. He should be number one, but it's fine. Um, the whole coaching staff would need raises, including Snell. But no, I know y'all caught that Snell is on the staff now. That's good. But yeah, if man, this is a something I can't even wrap my mind around right now because I'm like, that's gonna be a lot of overachieving or a great assessment of talent. If he can take the amount of NIL he had and finish top three in the ACC, he's going to be gold here. Like we struck gold because we know we're not going to have the most NIL in the conference ever. But we can be competitive with where we're at because we're not trying to outbid people. Man, that'd be love. That'd be phenomenal. Christopher Burke says, side note, keep up the good work on the channel. I like your perspective on stuff. Appreciate it, Christopher. I just want everybody to come in here and chime in and tell me how they feel about stuff, even if they don't agree with me. That's the best part. Jonathan has the part two. He said, what happens if we finish top three behind Duke versus if we finish 10th in the conference? Look, if we finish 10th, year one, I don't think much happens. And I mean that both ways. I don't think the fans get too bothered because it's like, it's year one. We saw what you was working with, whatever. But also, there's going to be no hype going into next season. I do think it would be detrimental to recruiting and trying to bring in high-level players in North Carolina that are, three of them are top 10 at this point. So trying to get any of those dudes is probably not looking good. And then you have to look at, okay, well, what you went after got you 10th in the conference. Is keeping all these guys a good idea, or do we have to rebuild all over again? And when you're trying to rebuild again, like I said, the excitement from the fan base is not going to be there. So the NIL is probably not going to jump that much. So 10th is it's like, it's like try again. I think that's what that's going to be. Wash your hands and try again. Hopefully that doesn't happen. David says Duke is the only team in the ACC that we should fear. The rest are project laden. David, why you? So first, I don't fear Duke. Like I don't think we should fear anybody, but Virginia is going to be good. We know this, right? They brought back everybody. Louisville spent so much money on their roster. Like they're even if their guys don't get along, they're going to be decent, and they're a deep team. Miami has a very good roster, and they're well coached. Florida State, we don't talk about them much, but Luke Laus is like, he is a very good coach. The way he took them guys from getting smacked by us by 40 something to knocking off teams towards the end of the year, yeah, he's going to be a very good coach and a problem at Florida State once he gets this thing rolling. So I don't want to overlook them either. Yeah, so I think we have more problems than, and we do have Carolina up the road. I don't know what they're going to be like, but you know how that goes with us. Bob says, Gary, there's not enough shooting in your 5-yo. Not enough shooting. I don't understand. There's not enough shooting in my. Yeah, I don't get what you're saying, Bob. Clarify that for me. And Bob says everybody's sleeping on Kane. Yeah, I think we are. I would love to be wrong, but he said he was a hustle guy. He's the glue guy. Excuse me, not a hustle guy. So I don't know what else we should be expecting from him. Richard Price says Gainey finishes top 3 this year. Sign up Gainey for life. Period. That's a stretch. This right here is hilarious because think about if we was like, oh man, if Kevin Keats make it to a Final Four, you probably would have said something crazy like this for him. Man, if Kevin Keats ever make it to a Final Four, he could get a life contract. And then look at us now. We let that man go there next year. So this is not happening. James says, let's give Gary a shout out. Best podcast going for NC State basketball. None better on any podcast. Love the competitive banner. James, I appreciate that, man. Make sure y'all share. Let's get, some more of our people involved. We know we have our state fans that want to say their 2 cents. Tell them to come on and talk about it. David says, Duke's loaded with 5 stars. The rest of the league can be had. Okay. I like the confidence. Jonathan says Torvik has Virginia at number 2, Louisville at 8, and Miami at 24. Duke is not the only team that is formidable. I agree with you, Jonathan. I'm like, I knew all 3 of those are going to be a problem. Like the ACC is not going to be a lightweight. So if we finish high in the ACC, we're fine nationally. Bob says those not grandfathered in are going to win court cases to play Elon and Middle Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, if they win, and we're talking about them being able to get this extra year, 50 year or whatever. Most of these schools teams are full, right? And even the others, the NIL is going to be very little. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's so late. I mean, we're in July. It's about to be August in a couple weeks. And these guys are talking about trying to come back to school to play basketball. That's crazy. Clyde Gaddis. What's up, man? He says, man, I seen Duke roster. I was scared. I seen Auto Boys play, and I'm a Georgia Tech fan. I seen Auto Boys play. I don't know what you're saying here, but I'm not scared of Duke. I just know they're going to be very good. We know that. W. Jones says UVA is not a project laden. Yeah, they're not. I don't think they lost anybody and returned almost everybody from last year's team. So the guy, I forget his name, the center that was blocking all the shots, I think he's gone. I feel like he went into the draft or something like that. But aside from that, I think there was one other senior. But aside from that, everybody else is back. Definitely going to be a problem. I don't even know who they added, but it sort of doesn't matter because they're still going to be good with those other players they had. Christopher Burke says UVA is definitely going to be a problem again for sure. Pitt may surprise too. Check that roster. Not bad for Coach Anansi. Pitt is good. I think Pitt is going to be very decent. They're probably going to be hanging around where we're at. And so, on top of that, you got players playing for their coach, playing for his job for the most part. If he can get these kids to buy in, yeah, they could be dangerous and surprise some folks or cause some bubble issues. David says UVA has aged. They are still project laden. David, talk this out for me, man. I don't get why you feel UVA is project laden. What has to happen for a team not to be project laden? I guess that's what I'm trying to understand here because they don't have projects. They have experienced players that have played in the ACC at a high level and lost only a few games. I don't remember how many games Virginia lost. Was it 2 or 3 last year in the conference? So talk to me about that, your thought process here. Clyde Gaddis says, I think Clemson going to be good. Yeah, Clemson is always good. Clemson is well coached. I give them that. They're going to be decent. I don't think they're ever going to be like a team that's elite or even good throughout the year. I think they mess up more than we do. It's like everything's going good at Clemson, and then it's not. I don't get what happens over there. I hear D5 might go back to Texas Tech. Good. I don't care where he goes. Such a disappointment. W. Jones says, at David, Project Layton means unproven. Everybody but maybe two from last year's team returning. It's not a project. I agree. To elaborate, Jonathan Gatlin says UVA has 0 questions at the 1 through 4 and 5. I'm not sure about the 2 and 3, but those other 3 spots will be top in the conference. Yeah. Bob says we're going to be good, but we'll get annihilated by Duke, UVA, and probably Louisville. All right, Bob, thank you for this comment. So, what I'm looking for from Gainey is this not to happen. I don't need you to slay all the dragons, but I need you to keep us from getting embarrassed. You're a defensive minded coach. That's what I need. I need you to be like, you know what? Maybe we didn't have the firepower to beat the top teams in the conference, but we dang sure going to lock up and make it a tough game for them. They're not just going to come and beat us or show up. They're not going to show up to the gym and just beat us. Like they're going to have to work for it. That's what I want from my coach. I can respect that. I can leave the arena or cut off my TV feeling okay if my team did everything in their power and made it tough on the other team to beat them, even if they lose. I just don't want to see nobody laying down and giving up or just lacking any type of attention to detail. Like I need it to be like, oh, the team was prepared. They gave everything they could, and it showed because it took everything from the other team to beat us. So these 3 teams, I'm hoping we do not get annihilated. If we get beat, we get beat because we are playing them on the road, except for Louisville. Play Duke, Virginia on the road. But aside from that, man, we need to be competitive in all these games. Every single one of them. Clyde guesses, and everybody forget about Virginia Tech going to be good too. Hold up. Clyde, see, you threw that comment in there, and now it's got me like, we haven't forgot about Virginia. We're talking about how good they're going to be. And then are you talking about Georgia Tech's going to be good? I know that's your team. Clarify that for me, because if you're saying Virginia Tech is going to be good, nah, I don't see that happen. There's stars over there at Carolina. All right, David Johnson says they have college level players, not highly recruited players. The rest of the league is basically the same, including Carolina. So, what you're saying, David, is since no other team has NBA level talent, that their projects, is that what you're? I think that's what you're saying to me. You can let me know in the chat. But if you do not have players that are potentially NBA prospects, you have a Project Layton team. Is that correct? James says, if you're not a 5-star player, then what are you? If you're lightly recruited or a non-rated, then yes, you are a project. You're recruited on potential or projection of what you could be. All right, so let's talk about this right here. So if you're not a 5 star player, so if you're a 4 star, we're saying a 4 star player is just a project. Um, as a freshman, okay, but if you are a 4 star out of high school and end up being first team all ACC, I don't think you're a project anymore. Like just because you weren't highly recruited out of high school doesn't mean much at this point. Like, oh, that is old news 2 or 3 years later. But okay. And David says I am correct on what he says. If you're not the NBA talent, then you're a project. All right, David. That's David's definition, y'all. Jonathan Gallon says VTech actually has some players still, though. Okay. Hammond and Hansberry were their best players last year, and they are back. Neo Dallas, I believe is how they say his name, wasn't up to the hype. I agree. He probably won't be this year either. Listen, I'm this guy. Neo is they want him to be a big deal because he can handle the ball. He's 6'9". But I agree. I don't believe he's that great. Now, I don't know. I don't remember much about Hammond and Hansberry. So, and I don't know what else they added. And did they fire their coach? Do they have a first year coach also? Let me know. I don't remember, but it's a lot. I don't have VTech anywhere in the mix. Tell me if you do, but I don't. The thing about projects, they can regress just as much as they get better. But I feel like that's any player. That's not just projects. I'll give you an example. State always has these players. Give me a moment. We're going to talk about some people that's like, whoa, where did he go? Um, let's see. We had, I don't think what year it was. Might have been 23, 24. MJ Rice. Y'all remember him? Y'all remember MJ Rice? Remember how he was a McDonald's All American, right? Went to Kansas, then decided to come back over here, and there was always flashes. He played in Reynolds, got a super dunk. He was very athletic and a big dude. Like he didn't look like he should be that athletic, but MJ Rice was a bust. Bust. I believe he ended up going down to like UNCW or something like that. Probably got kicked off that team. Like 5 stars regress also. This is not a project thing. So I can't agree with you on that, David. Because recently we've seen it. Christopher says, let's see, Virginia Tech is still there 4th year, I think. Okay. So I think you're talking about the coach. All right. Kent's asking, anyone know what Corey wrote about Jordan Page today? I don't think so. Like an article? Or we give us more detail on what you're asking about. Because I don't remember seeing anything about Page today other than yeah. Let me know what you're talking about, and then I can find out for you. Okay, Christopher says Virginia Tech coach is in his 4th year. He's been around. All right, that's good. They didn't let him go. And so I think Gainey was checking Page out today. Okay, I'll look into that because I don't know, but I'll let you know if I find out anything. Yeah, won't be on this live, but I'll let you know if I find something out. Let's see. Give me a sec, guys. I'm getting caught up here. Sorry for the delay. All right. So James Johnson says there are levels to players in their development. 5 stars and non-rated players. 5-star can play like a project as well. Yep, we see it all the time. Small level school rise up and beat a D1. Yep. W. Jones says, I don't understand how a team that finished 30-6 and second in the conference with 90% of the team returning is a project in your eyes. Yeah, I think he has his stance on that. So we're just gonna, agree to disagree. Christopher Bright says MJ Rice had a lot of internal issues off the court. Stuff was stacked against him from the beginning. Well, that's for sure, though. Yeah, he has some issues, but hey, he was still a McDonald's All-American, highly recruited. Nothing panned out. Jonathan says, same coach at VTech, and they grabbed Musa. That's all they needed, Gary. Jonathan out here with the jokes. Listen, if they had to grab Musa, man, yeah, they're not making any noise. Especially if he plays, they're not making any noise. I forgot all about that he went there. Oh, Mike Young. Yeah, he's still there. Man, he holding on. I guess it's like old boy at Wake Forest. They just keep hanging around even though their teams aren't doing nothing. Christian Burke says, let's be real. Those too few players in North Carolina are going to cost a ton of money. Even if Gainey kills it first year, it's going to be hard to lock once. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't think this is true. I think if you can, they are going to cost a lot of money. Let me be clear. You are right about that. But I think you pay. Even if our NIL is what it is, and we're not, it doesn't jump up a lot. We're not competitive at the top of the league. You overpay for these guys, the ones that you can get. If you can get Jordan Page, that's the first one because that's home. It's in the backyard. If you can get this guy, then you get him. I don't care how much it costs. You get him and you fix everything else around it. Like, then you can go and play this money ball game and get these mid-major transfers and yada yada at a lower rate. But you go get this one star. The dude is a one and done. Okay. If you have not seen his highlights in this USA team, U17 team, or whatever, we can't let this guy get away of all of them just because he's here. Now, the other two, all right, cool. If they want to go elsewhere, fine. But maybe these guys want to stay local and do something special. Maybe Gainey can convince them. And if it comes down to money, we got to find the money. That's the time for all these big time boosters that want to talk. And they can get Keats fired and any other coach fired. You got to pony up at that point. If he's done everything in his power to get him there, and it's all about money at that point. Yeah, we gotta pay for at least one. I know we may not be able to go get all three that I want, but you got to get that one. Because I mean, what if you don't? It's like, what we doing? We can't recruit a guy that's been coming to our games for like 2 or 3 years, wants to play defense. We got a defensive minded coach. And the reason we can't get him is because we saying we won't have any money. Like, no, no, we may not have the biggest NIL, but we not broke. They can figure that out. Figure it out. Okay, so on another note, what do you think about fans gauging how good guys will be based on a few clips, i.e., Mikey and Yurkovich scoring on Evans? So now there are concerns about his abilities. Hey, it's a great question because I'm one of them fans. Like, I have to watch clips and try to gauge what I see. Hopefully, I'll get more than just one. So my thoughts are, I get it, but you got to be careful, right? Like, you see a couple clips, and it's like seeing a guy get his ankles broke, and then you're like, oh, he can't play defense. Or you see a guy get dunked on, you're like, oh, he can't block a shot. There's levels to it, and you gotta see enough before you formulate an opinion. So um, I can say that it doesn't create confidence in certain stuff. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I see a couple clips and be like, oh, I'm even more confident just because I saw him get posted up. Yeah, he's fine. I know what he did last year. No, because there's levels of this. And what was he playing against last year? Like, I'm not gonna be like that. Jurkovic, same thing. Like, I'm looking at him and I'm trying to find every clip I can so I can get bought in, like people are trying to tell me, but I don't see it. So, I get how people make those judgments, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like you just have to take a chance because what else do we have? Right? I mean, yeah, otherwise you just gotta sit and wait. And then you go watch the game and it's like, okay, well, now we know. So until then, we just gotta speculate. Like I says, is NC State leaving the ACC? I wish, man. I'm so ready for us to just pop up and leave because the ACC is like, forget State. We don't care about them. But I doubt it. I think we probably gonna go down with the ship and wait to try to find a seat in another conference whenever that time comes. Whenever the ACC dissolves itself, we'll be left looking for a home, I'm sure. Jonathan asked me, outside of state, what team do you project overachieves in the ACC? Florida State is my first. I don't think Florida State gets enough credit. I think they're overachieved. I think Miami might overachieve, even though I have them in the top four roughly. I think they're going to be better than what people think. Um, Trying to think who else. Cloud, I'm sorry, I don't know much about Georgia Tech, so but maybe Pitt would be my other one. Just because Buddy's coaching for his job. And he's not a bad coach, but he's coaching for his job. So, he might pull out something that we ain't seen yet, or he might be able to really, get these guys motivated to hoop for him. Who knows? Those would be my people. Shall I say my teams that would actually overachieve. We're giving Ken Gibson a look also. Can we afford them? Listen, hey, David, we better figure it out. I feel like look, I feel like y'all can tell me if you feel this way or if you agree. Whenever we wanted to fire Keats and pay that buyout, we found that money. We found it. It wasn't like a problem at all. Okay. It was like, oh man, what we gonna do? We can't afford his buyout. We just extended him. It was like, nah, we don't care if we get him an extension. He's gone. We found the money. That's what we got to do if we are able to get these guys to say they want to come to NC State. Find it. Find that money. I don't want to hear us talking about, the last thing I want to hear is a recruit doing an interview in the NBA like, man, yeah, I really wanted to go to state when I was in college, but they couldn't offer me enough NIL. Oh, that would be so painful. Definitely don't want that scenario. James says, Justin says he's a relationship builder. We have to count on that. Hopefully that means he will retain his recruits. Go to the bank on that. Yeah, man. Look, the relationship building is really gonna come into play with these high schoolers. Like, you've been recruiting these guys for multiple years. Hey, you gotta put your money where your mouth is once you get them to be like, yeah, I rock with you, coach. Maybe I'll rock with you at a discount because I like you, but I'm still gonna need my money. Hey, we got to make sure we get that done. I hope Danny can make that happen. Christopher Burke says we can land one of those three top NC guys. I'd be happy. I agree. Build a team around one of them and see what happens. Hope we have a year that helps us get one of them. Yeah, I mean, what's his name? CJ Rosser, I believe is his name. That kid is like, he waiting to see what we gonna do. I think it's gonna boil down to, like, if you can show that you can be competitive and be a program that can compete and win the championship the following year, they'll come. Like, I really feel like they'll come, and we will find whatever booster business person we need to get that money through there. If you got to share a bigger portion of this daggone revenue from TV and games and stuff like that, you do it. Think about this. Next year, if the ACC continues the way they're moving, we get home games with Carolina and Duke and potentially Virginia, unless they switch it up, and Miami. Like, we would have a phenomenal TV schedule for our home games. So there's a chance that revenue sharing could be a big deal for us next year. We shall see. MK Sneeze said, I think Mikey might play the 5. If he plays the 5, it needs to be for the length of a sneeze. Okay? It needs to be somebody got in foul trouble. We don't have Shy Hall has 4 in the first half. Evans has fouled out. Jurkovic has a cold and can't play. Like, it's got to be a crazy scenario. I do not want this man at the 5 in the ACC, unless or we're playing UNC Asheville or somebody like that. In the ACC conference game, and he's playing the 5 for an extended amount of time, we in trouble. It is what it is. John says, I think Mikey can play the 5, but his skill set is better at the 4. Absolutely. I don't want to play small ball 5. Like, I don't want it. David says Pitt will overachieve this year. And Stanford has a solid coach. You know, I'd be forgetting about Stanford. I don't know what the expectation for Stanford is. I mean, I don't have them in the top 5, 6 in conference, like, at all. And I'll be forgetting about SMU. All those teams out west, SMU, Stanford, Cal. I don't think about them at all. But, I mean, they really – I wish they would just get out our conference because what do they bring to the table? Like, other than SMU being pretty good in football, every now and then. Cal and Stanford are just they're not helping our athletics. But anyway, I don't think Stanford's top 7 or 8 in our conference. I don't think there's a chance that maybe SMU is. I have to go look at those. Next time we all chat, I'll have more insight if I want to switch up anything and include those 3 teams. But I don't think I'll be doing too much switching up with them. Jonathan says, "What teams do you expect to underachieve?" Carolina. I think Carolina is going to underachieve greatly. You got an NBA coach coming back to college. Then he went and put together a team that I'm like, who's the leader? I don't know who their leader is supposed to be. And you went and got Matt Abel, who claimed he wanted to run the point or show his playmaking ability, but that's going to be Neo, the point guard from Virginia Tech. He's going to probably be doing that. And then the other guy from Utah, I'm hearing he puts it up. Like, he is a shooter, and not at a very efficient clip either. So he probably going to start at the 2, which means Abel going to be at the 3 again. What you leave for? You have to go to a school to be mediocre and still not be able to show you so-called talent? I don't know. I think Carolina underachieves. I think they're going to have some leadership problems, maybe some locker room issues, and some cohesiveness that's not there. That's my pick. If I had to pick another one outside of that, maybe Clemson, because we know Clemson is normally coached well, which is why they achieve what they achieve, because they never have like the most elite players, right? It's players that have been there forever. Seems like they don't transfer out even now, and they're fundamentally sound, and they're coached well. So I think there's always opportunity. We see them stumble all the time. After we beat them, they went on a little drought. It's always opportunity for them not to meet expectation. Those are my 2 teams. James says, ACC looking like a bear this year. I think there are several teams that could surprise. It's going to be a war. Coaching will be the difference. Yep, talent level about the same except Duke. I love tough ACC. Yo, me too. Like, we need our conference to be playing at a high level. We know that it's good for us. It allows more teams to make it into the actual tournament. We got to win this ACC SEC challenge like handily, like we used to do back in the day. Like, we've got to go ahead and just smack these guys up so they'll stop talking about the ACC being the best conference, because I do not agree. They get knocked out of the daggone tournament so quick, most of their teams. But yeah, if the teams we're talking about play at the level that they need to, we should be like 8, 9 deep making the tournament. Shall see. David Johnson says, hope we play more matchup zone this year. Some of your bigs are not athletic enough for man concepts. Our defense should be more like Clemson Tigers, physical. Yeah, I can see that. They can definitely hide a lot if you do that. James Johnson says, screw Matt Abel. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Jonathan Gatlin asked, does anyone feel like if Matt stays, we are a better team than we are right now? No. Here's my thing, man. And I told this to a Carolina podcaster. I was like, Matt Abel and Paul McNeil are redundant to me. That's redundancy. They do the same stuff. Abel does a better job of driving to the basket, but it's odd because he wants to finish with his left hand, even though he's a right-hand shooter, which is that Taquavion Smith thing, which I never get. You shooting right-handed, but you finish better with your left. You really want to get to your left. And his lateral quickness was not there for me. Yeah, he got steals, but he was playing the passing lane most of the time. Like he wasn't staying in front of people, locking people up, right? So, yeah, he's another Paul McNeil to me. So I don't think having him really uh, helped us. I mean, it was, what should I say? I don't think having him this year would really help us because that's another shooter. Uh, Makes you a little deeper, I guess. But if you're starting him, no. And if he wants to be on ball with the ball in his hands, absolutely not. As he is not a point guard. I don't care what he thinks. Nope. But look, Pack, appreciate y'all jumping on with me tonight. You know, we've been on here for about an hour 30. I'm gonna go ahead on and uh end it for the night, but I appreciate you. Please continue to, follow and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and like if you haven't. Turn on the notifications. That way you are alerted whenever we go live, as well as when new content, new shows drop. Um, and if you have some ideas or something you want us to talk about, share it. Leave it in the comments, and we will get to it. As always, Pack Nation, go Pack.